Hello everyone, my name is Anton Ribato and I'm very excited to have the opportunity to show you what I learned this semester in our organizational leadership class. As cheesy as this sounds, I want to take you on a journey of how I viewed my learning of leadership, and I guarantee you'll be leading in no time. Don't worry, I know you were in the class too and you have your own ideas of what a leader is. I won't try to sell you on anything. I started my journey by looking at the man in the mirror. I know, a great song, but that's not what I meant. I literally put an image of an empty person in my head and broke that image into 6 separate parts or modules that would stack up on top of each other like learning blocks. As I would continue to learn in the class, the blocks would fill up with the knowledge that I had learned, and once I reached the top, I figured it would show me what kind of leader that I would be. So starting at my feet with section 1, I set my expectations or a base level of what I personally thought leadership was to me. This block set the tone and starts by explaining leadership and how we can follow in the footsteps of many leaders from our past. I learned that even with our current trajectories, these paths that they took are not the same for everyone. I came to realize that leadership is such a broad term that it is really hard to narrow down the true meaning of being a leader in the first couple pages. And I had my ideas and personal views of it with being a leader currently, but I figured I would evolve more over time. I have a personal mantra of mine that I like to use in a lot of the situations that I come across. Never give yourself a perfect score, because you are always learning and always improving. Now this sounds like I'm being hard on myself, like if I get an A, it's never good enough, or if I made a hole in one that I could do better. But really, it's something that I felt was more motivating rather than a hindrance. This mantra means to me that I will always have something to learn from what I do, and this learning allows me to evolve and make myself better, so that in the long run, I can be a more effective leader because I have been through it already. As the weeks would progress, the rest of the empty person in my head would start to fill up. We would learn the 6 dimensions of being a leader with finding personal traits, abilities, skills, behaviors, relationships, and processes that work for us. We discuss and learn on how to identify important trait styles of an effective leader, such as strength-based leadership, authoritarian, democratic, and laissez-faire leadership, and relationship styles. Learning these different types of styles helped me come to a discovery of what type of leader I could and would classify as, and how I can incorporate these styles into my everyday life. We then would go into discussions and talk about the unforeseen sides of leaderships and how it's representative in many different types of styles, with going through our New York Times posts. From reading these articles and discussing with our current peers, we would find and be able to recognize bad leaders and how to avoid learning the wrong things from them and how to avoid them in our current everyday practices. We would walk through ways to find out how to embrace diversity and inclusion and the differences between people who are out-group members and in-group members, and identifying their impact in the professional world. We then would continue to talk about how to embrace diversity and inclusion, the differences between people who are out-group members and in-group members, and identifying their impact in the professional world. We would continue to talk about the ethics and leadership and how to deal with conflicts and gain the confidence to be able to handle, manage, and resolve issues. We dived into personal practices for overcoming a variety of obstacles for leaders and how to become a person of unbiased opinions to have the opportunity to come to a level-minded resolve or goal that would be acceptable for everyone on a level field. After everything we read and talked about in our discussions, I came to the realization that the final block on the stack was this: that I had filled myself with so much knowledge that I had evolved into a leader that originally I didn't think I would be before. Not only had I learned so many different styles of leadership, but I could finally put a classification or name to what type of leader I was. This empty person I saw before me was a melting pot of a relationship style leader and someone who had great success with dealing and confronting people with conflict resolutions. I am a leader who thrives with learning, but takes chances and likes to think outside the box. I don't like to always be the one in charge, but when need be, I will rise to the occasion and be the connection to upper management and to my employees. I like to delegate my duties and give my employees the opportunities to shine and take ownership of their work, but I still take great pride in my personal work and being the one who creates or develops the next best practice or tool to be successful. They say at times it can be lonely at the top when you're the leader, or you can't please them all. People say at times that they would never want to be a leader of a group because then they have to deal with the people and their problems that follow them. But this is where I bring it home, and I like to remember that mantra that I stated I use a lot, and I tell them this. I'm not afraid of failure. I'm not perfect, but I have learned from my experiences and have the knowledge and understanding that no one is born a leader. They go through things that help them learn, and other times greatness is thrusted upon them, where they can either shine in the moment or learn from their mistakes. Sometimes this works, and other times it doesn't. It's like a puzzle. You have to find the right piece. As a leader, you go through things that are easy and hard. You could be dealt a bad hand and have very hard days, but it's not what happens that defines you as a leader. It's how you come back and learn from it. People are still looking to you for guidance, and if you are visibly open with how this affects you, it's not always good. It is important to show them that you are learning and building just like them. A leader is someone who not only leads in a group, but has learned to build or stack their knowledge to be able to be the person of reliability, a pillar of knowledge, and be able to lead by what he or she believes in, and show that by example, he or she can help everyone grow towards a common goal of success. I want to thank everyone again for a great semester, and I do hope that you learned just as much as I did during our time here in the organizational leadership class.